A warm welcome to this introduction to our early years ANT. The ANT consultations are situated within the graduated response to SEND in Suffolk as part of our core offer and can also be purchased by settings as part of an additional traded offer from the Psychology and Therapeutic services. It is a pleasure to have this opportunity to describe the ANT process to you. This short introduction aims to expand your knowledge of what ANTs are and how you might use them within your early years setting, to develop and broaden your understanding of particular children, and to generate a range of new strategies to support them. Many staff working with children and young people of all ages have generously given their time to feedback on their experiences of taking part in an ANT, and so we have put together a short video where you can hear others talk and share their views. At the end, there are links to further information and our contact details to find out more if you wish to. The ANT is an online assessment and analytical tool that creates rich detail for a comprehensive psychological consultation. Unlike traditional educational psychology assessment and consultation processes, the ANT is online. It is flexible, secure, easy to use, and used by adults in many roles connected with the child's welfare. The ANT equips educators with immediate action plans for children. The secure system that we use for the ANT enables an adult-to-adult consultation, where a child can be discussed in depth and more holistically understood. The ANT began its journey in 2010, developed initially at the request of the Youth Justice Board. Its purpose was to provide a standardized method of early intervention for educational psychologists. Over subsequent years, the questions and format were revised and refined by multi-agency collaboration with colleagues in health, psychologists, speech and language therapists, advisory teachers, and social care colleagues. In 2016, we created our first digital version of the ANT on a system called SharePoint, moving away from the Excel spreadsheet version. It was trialled across the schools of the Reach 2 academies. Building on the success of these trials, the ANT went from strength to strength. In 2017, it continued to be developed by the Suffolk Psychology and Therapeutic services. Over 200 assessments were completed by this stage, including devising and successfully trialling a version for early years children from age 2.5 through to reception. And now, looking beyond 2021. The feedback from all types of educational settings has been overwhelmingly positive, and a successful business case for development funds has enabled us to bring you AANT.online, an updated product for all ages that means that many more children and young people can be supported through ANT consultations. In the new ANT, we have a wider range of questions to be suitable for describing the behaviours and skills of children from 2.5 years. Colleagues at nurseries and preschools have helped us trial these questions and shape them to be simple to use, but comprehensive and helpful. So now when you select a child's year group, you will automatically see the right set of questions for their age and stage of development. This is the version 3 website that you can find by typing in AANT.online. There is a short reminder to explain how the process works in 3 steps and a simple login button at the top right of the screen. These screenshots demonstrate how an ANT builds to provide rich information through detailed questions in each section, providing an overview matrix of areas of strengths and needs, leading to a summary report for the early years setting to download and use immediately. This example shows some of the solution-focused questions around emotional and social skills, and how these then relate to other areas such as speech and language. Our experienced psychologists are able to analyse this information, honing in on the most important areas for your consultation and what might need further exploration. As part of the development process, we were asked by the developers, so how would you explain the AANT to someone if you only had the time it takes to travel with them in an elevator? And this is what we came up with. Ensuring every aspect of a child's strengths and difficulties, connections and support systems has been considered. An online assessment and analytical tool that creates rich detail for a comprehensive psychological consultation. So I suspect you're wondering how exactly this all works. We've designed a simple process to make it very straightforward to use the AANT site. Firstly, a consultee, usually a nursery key worker or SENDCO, logs securely into the AANT site and completes a detailed assessment, including collaboration with the family to gain their views. This contains questions with multiple choice and free text answers on all sorts of areas, so that a rich picture of the child's strengths and difficulties can be created. For example, there are questions on learning, attention, social skills, sleep, physical skills, and more. Your completed form is then received by an experienced child and educational psychologist, who can analyse the information provided in depth and contacts the consultee to arrange a convenient time for their consultation. The preparation time this gives for both the educational psychologist and the consultee is very valuable, helping to avoid problem saturation and instead opening up a real strengths-based conversation, which usually lasts around 45 minutes. The consultation generates a positive collaborative list of actions with timescales. This is available within 24 hours of the consultation and can be downloaded, saved and printed as a PDF by the consultee as a summary report. Accompanying the report is a range of person-centered suggestions and signposts to downloadable resources, perfectly suited to that particular child and their individual needs. We thought it might be helpful to present a short case study to show how the AANT works in real life. So here's Jonah. In the course of his early years AANT, it was clear that poor sleep hygiene, including the use of blue light, was hampering Jonah's sleep. Consequently, he presented at nursery as overtired and less able to emotionally regulate. Following consultation and from the links in her AANT report, the class teacher felt more secure in raising this with Jonah's parents, helping them see the direct links between daytime difficulties and evening activities. Small changes have led to a much more settled, regulated child who has the capacity to build vital social and emotional links with his peers. Nursery staff have described Jonah as a changed child. A few weeks later, Jonah's teacher was part of a small group who made a transition visit to Jonah's receiving primary school. She explained the information and resources within the AANT, and the reception lead teacher decided to then share this with all the new reception parents and carers as part of a welcome evening that took place shortly afterwards. Nursery staff have been able to clearly see the ripple effect of an AANT and have already requested these for 2 other children in their care. Another way for you to see the ripples from AANTs is pictured here, showing the benefits at several levels. Staff frequently use words like empowered, confident, and reassured that they are doing everything they possibly can, that no stone is left unturned. Families are given a voice and rapid response to their concerns, which often improves relationships with early years settings, establishing mutual understandings and a positive path for future interactions. Teachers say that the advice and collaborative problem solving has made them think of ways to reach many other children across classes and year groups, having a systemic effect across whole preschool and school systems. Having that reflective thinking space is essential to taking a step back and looking at behaviours differently. It can more clearly define ways forward and illuminate sources of information and support that might have been obscured. AANTs generate short, focused reports which makes sharing essential information easier between settings and across agencies.
It was really helpful being able to chat to Imogen. She was able to respond to what we were saying and ask probing questions, which made us think about things in a different way.
I've used the AANT process 3 times now with Imogen. Just say it's absolutely brilliant. The consultations have been informative, professional, been a really good two-way discussion and extremely helpful. Would I use it again? Absolutely. Can highly recommend it to anybody that would like to use it. Hope this helps anybody else out.
I found it really interesting, really helpful. I've taken on board some of the suggestions that you made regarding having somebody else who can work alongside me just in case I'm not there and everything. But it was just really good and I really enjoyed it, and thank you very much.
I'd just like to give some feedback and say what a great meeting it was. Thank you very much. I appreciate all of your time. You offered lots of wonderful suggestions for us to try in the classroom with our students. I really like the fact that you had read all the details that we'd sent on to you and the information that's been collated. You knew our student as best as you could without having met him, and offered some really valuable advice and ideas as to what we can do, and adapted those to suit our students' needs and the cohort that I teach.
The AANT process was incredibly informative, helpful and useful in understanding not only the SEN needs within specific pupils in my class, but also using that knowledge to apply it to other children that required it in my class. It was incredibly informative and an amazing experience. So thank you.
It may be a concern that the child actually isn't observed during the process. However, we found that a positive. It means that the parents would worry less and you get a better idea of the child's behaviour because it's not based around one observation, it's based around a selection of observations. We found the whole process really positive and came away with some great suggestions, and actually it really boosted our confidence that we knew what we were doing, but we knew also how to take things further. So thank you very much.
The AANT was a very positive and useful process for us. The advice given enabled us to provide appropriate support to the family and improve the situation for this child. I believe the help suggested will prevent problems escalating and therefore save more costly interventions being required in the future.
Absolutely, everything was wonderful and really appreciate your help and support. It's the first time I've ever had any dealings with your team, and I thought it was fantastic. So thank you so much.
I would just like to thank Imogen very much for all the help she gave us with this baby ant, and I look forward to working with her again in the future. Thank you.
To summarise, the Early Years ANT provides comprehensive early intervention and psychological support. It uses the highest security levels to keep your information safe. This approach is rapid and effective, and it reassures and empowers staff and families. New ideas open up and perspectives change. Time is used efficiently and signposting is swifter. Small adaptations have a ripple effect, broadening the systemic impact. And early intervention happens.